in the hospital. He sat in with us in one of our Ask Elaine shows. He's just a very fine and humble young man, just a wonderful person. And sometimes you wonder why those good people, good-hearted people, hard-working people end up, having a really hard time, and he is having a tough time. So I'm sure he'd like to hear from the class of 1996 of Northeast and anybody else who knows Tyrone Tuckers, that gentle giant from Northeast High School. He's doing okay, but he'd like to hear from you. So give him a call there at the Medical Center, room 316. We appreciate that. We'd also like to send out condolences to the Ponder family of Fort Valley. We were down in Fort Valley on Saturday, Reverend Dr. Ficklin and I, along with Representative Patty Bentley from Reynolds, and we were there to attend the homegoing services for Mr. Clifford Ponder, former Council President Anita Ponder's father. It was a beautiful ceremony there at Shiloh Baptist in Fort Valley. He was a member of Trinity for years and years. He served as the comptroller, the finance man at Fort Valley State University. And so we wish the Ponder family all the best as they deal with the loss of this very wonderful man. It was just a very fitting tribute to him, and we wish them all well. And it was good to see Anita again. We had not seen her in a while, but she was there in Fort Valley, and we got a chance to talk briefly with her and to share the sympathy of the city of Macon for her. Our call-in number is 646-5858. This is your voice at City Hall. Councilwoman Elaine Lucas. It is our pleasure to bring this program to you once per week. We are hoping to be able to expand and to host this program more than once per week. So let us know what you feel about that. We do have our sponsors are E. Lucas Consulting, EL High School Home Study Academy, where we've graduated or will have graduated almost 300 students by the end of August. We are also sponsored by Senator David Lucas and also the committee to elect Elaine Lucas Commissioner District 3. We'll get back to our announcements, but we do have a caller. Good afternoon. Ask Elaine.
Hello, this is Gwinnett Westbrook, president of the NAC.
Yes, Ms. Westbrook. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Great. It was good to see you last evening as we paid tribute to Trayvon Martin at Friendship Baptist Church there on Reverend J.L. Mills Way, and Reverend Stephen Summerow, a well-known ophthalmologist in the city of Macon, hosted that program, he along with Friendship Baptist, and it was good to see you there as a part of it. We see you all over the place, and that is wonderful to see the local president of the NAACP actively involved in the community. So tell us about that and share with us anything else. It's just a pleasure to have you call in.
Well, I was glad to see that people were out in that type of environment, because we needed prayer at a time like this, and for the whole nation, because it's affected our whole nation, and just like with the Sammy Davis case, is similar case, and we just have to stay prayerful in situations like this.
You are right. What do you think of the verdict, in the Zimmerman verdict?
Well, I was dissatisfied, and it was disappointing in the verdict, and people, have to understand. I know a lot of people are saying that everything is racial. We're basing everything around race, but it's sad to say that racism and discrimination is in a history, that it exists in this nation. So if we can get past that, then I think we will be able to move on and be able to unite. But we have not been able to do that. If we can just look at it as we're just one, God created all of us equal, and we're just one person, then I think we will be able to move on. But until then, and I know people say that the NAACP makes everything about race, and is is not about race all the time, but we have to look at the facts and look at the history of dealing with race discrimination.
You're right. You're right. Now, tell us, there are several programs that the local branch NAACP is sponsoring. Could you tell us briefly about those programs?
Well, on tomorrow night, we will have a political forum, which will be for the mayor candidates. And that's going to be at 6 o'clock at the Macon City Hall on tomorrow.
Right, and there are 7 candidates now.
Right.
In the race.
Right, and we want to, some people may not have qualified, but they have announced that they are running for mayor. So we have to be respectful and not exclude those people that maybe have not disqualified. I know some people have mixed feelings about that, but we have to be fair to everybody.
Right, I understand, and we need to get a look at all of those who've expressed an intention to run for mayor. There are 7 candidates: former Mayor C. Jack Ellis, County Commission Chair Sam Hart. You have former Chair Charlie Bishop. You have the present Mayor Robert Rickard. You have help me with all of them. There are a lot of them. You have Anthony Harris, who's running. Sam Hart. You have Joe Allen, and there is one. David Cousineau is the other one. So there are 7 total candidates who either have qualified or who have announced, and qualifying starts next week. Because the election has been set for September 17th, and so everybody needs to go get a red marker and circle that date on your calendar, but also walk backwards on the calendar for several weeks, because early voting takes place during those weeks prior to the actual September 17th election date. So you have all of those times that you can vote early, and we do hope that you'll take advantage of voting and voting early. Nobody needs to stay home this time. This is one of the most important elections that we have had in a long, long time. What about the Freedom Fund banquet? We have some information on that.
Our Freedom Fund banquet will not be held until October the 19th, and it will also be at the Buck Melton Center, but we are going to be having a red carpet event, which is going to be this Saturday at 6 o'clock at the Buck Melton Center. And this event, we will be honoring people in the community. They're not say ordinary people, but they're ordinary people that would not normally get recognized, that does good work in the community, that provide services in the community. So we want to show those people that their work is not overlooked, and that we appreciate all the hard work that they do in the community.
Okay, well,
and the tickets are $10 for that event.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. And you have a standing invitation to call in to ask Elaine each week to give us an update. The NAACP is the organization that's been there for people who have been oppressed for so many years, and we certainly want to encourage people to get a membership. Membership is what? An individual membership is $30?
It's $30 annually.
Annually. And so we certainly, and I need to get my annual membership in to you too, Gwen.
And I just want to say to this community that we have to pull together. I know sometimes people think that we only look at issues with race, but that's not the only issue we deal with. Our goal is to make sure that everybody is treated equally. There's equality for all people. And but like I say, it's just that, unfortunately, Trayvon Martin and Sammy Davis issues was dealing with the opposite race, and with Trayvon Martin's death, I think that race did play in Zimmerman's pursuit of not necessarily saying that the jurors, we don't know that, but listened to the tape and the 911 call, it was racial
profiling. He was profiled and he was murdered, and that is the simple truth. I feel it in my heart. I know. I cried when the verdict was read. I was sitting there, my mouth flew open. I could not believe it, but then again, I said, in light of all of the things that are going on in this country and the move back toward more racist policies and disenfranchisement of underserved groups, then I was not surprised at all with that. But we've got to continue the fight, and that is why it's so important to have organizations like the NAACP, but they can't function unless they have your support, your membership. And if you're not a member of the NAACP, I wouldn't go calling them. I would feel ashamed to call these people and ask them to help, to put in. And I know, Ms. Westbrook, the numbers of hours, because I see you everywhere, all the time, at all kinds of hours. And you are out there actively working. You don't get paid for this. But if somebody called you, then they ought to be a member if they expect to receive services. We will run you down to try and get you to help them out of a problem. We get calls, the senator and I get calls at midnight, 1, 2 in the morning. We don't mind, because that's what we said we were going to do when we offered for political office. We're public servants. But you just want to, there's a certain thing called reciprocity. If someone is helping you and in a position, going to be strong and being capable of helping you, you've got to support the cause. So it's not a lot to ask somebody to become a member of the NAACP. Youth can join too, and I understand there's a youth arm of the NAACP. Maya Scott and her son and others are actively involved with that. So the youth can get involved. All 75 of those who marched yesterday from Central City Park up to the federal building, federal courthouse, all of them ought to be actively involved in the youth membership of the NAACP. And so if you're not helping to promote and support these organizations, you ought not to call them for help.
Well, I just like I'm saying that we don't deny anybody
I know you
help
don't.
if they're not a member, but we do encourage people to join, because this is an organization that's nonprofit. We do not get paid for the service we provide, and we, when you're in this type of organization or any type of organization and you don't get paid, then you have to have heart in it to do what you do. And
That's right.
And I want, and the NAACP is not an organization of just black black people. It's an organization of diversity, and I'm asking for black, white, Hispanics, whatever, to actually become a member and join, because it takes a diverse of people to deal with the community or work with anybody, because you're dealing with different types of people. So we welcome any race in joining the NAACP to fight the cause for what we're fighting for.
Okay, thank you so very much for your call, and call us at any time. You're always